This is the Fox News debate with the Republican candidates, minus Donald Trump, of course, because he didn't want to participate in the debates in the 2024 election season, not the primary debates. This is the first primary debate. It remains to be seen if he participates in any others. I get the impression he's decided not to, which personally I think is a wise political calculation. I don't think he has anything to gain from participating in any of the debates. But anyways, that means that we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on stage, and they are all nutter butters of epic proportions. We got people like Vivek Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, Ada Hutchinson. We've got Ron DeSantis on stage, and we got a whole bunch of other people. So let's give this debate a listen. See how many times they insult Trump. I'm going to guess it's going to be 0. And see how many times they talk poorly about Biden and how many times they mention Bidenomics. We should keep a Bidenomics counter on the top of this. Anyway, we're going to listen to this debate, and while we do, I'm going to play some Pokemon Fire Red. It's actually a ROM hack that allows me to catch any Pokemon, even the starters. So, yeah, right now I'm in Rock Tunnel. Give you a little context. If you've never played it, don't sweat it. It'll be in the background. Shouldn't bother you too much. All right, let's listen, shall we?
Listen, now that everybody's gotten their memorized, pre-prepared slogans out of the way, we can actually have...
As if he didn't have a memorized, pre-prepared slogan ready to go. Locked and loaded. Ridiculous, dude. This is one of the most plastic people alive, in my opinion. He does seem to kind of be popular in a small subset, like a Bernie Sanders or a Donald Trump for a certain subset of the population, interestingly.
A real discussion now. The reality and the fact of the matter is...
Was that one of yours?
Not really, Mike, actually. We're just going to have some fun tonight. And the reality is, you have a bunch of people, professional politicians, super PAC puppets, following slogans handed over to them by their 400-page super PACs last week.
Because, this guy doesn't have a PAC, right? He doesn't have a political action committee or whatever. He doesn't have oh, there's a Chansey. See, finally hitting some Chanseys. All right, now, here's the trick. As soon as I find a Chansey, I save, I throw a ball, and if I don't catch the Chansey, I reload, throw a ball again. Yeah, I'm just going to keep throwing this ball at this Chansey until I catch it and see if it has a lucky egg. If it doesn't, reload, try again. That's just the trick here. Anyway, okay. Let's keep listening to Vivek, who absolutely most definitely has PACs and tons of donors and money and pre-prepared speeches just like everybody else. He wants to pretend to be a Bernie Sanders or whoever, but he's just as plastic as anybody else. If somebody says, see, walking over worked. Apparently so. Yeah, I guess you're right. It makes no sense, but I suppose it worked, yep.
We face in this primary is this. Do you want a super PAC puppet, or do you want a patriot who speaks the truth? Do you want incremental reform, which is what you're hearing about, or do you want revolution?
Okay.
And I stand on the...
Okay, you need incremental reform. That's how it works, unfortunately. I would love to have a quick and immediate solution to all of our problems, but there is no quick and immediate solution, unfortunately, outside of, like, violence. You'd have to enact violence to get what you want done. All right, so I caught a Chansey. Let's go to Pokemon, see if it has a lucky egg. It does not. It is not holding an item. So I go back to where I was before, reload, and do it again. Just keep going until I find a Chansey and throw the thing. That's it. That's what you got to do. This part, like I said, it usually takes me... I've spent 2 hours doing this. There's another Chansey. See? It was unusual that I had seen so few Chanseys. This part usually takes an hour or two to do this, but the lucky egg is worth it because it increases it doubles your experience. Every time you get in a battle, it doubles the experience of whoever is holding it. So I really want that lucky egg. I'm going to try for 10 of them in this run, and if I can't for one reason or another, then I'll just do it when I'm not streaming. Anyway, let's keep listening here.
side of the American Revolution.
I've got to address
rather
one
than
of
We're
the
going to take
instrumentalism.
control back here.
We need everyone
Remember?
to have a moment on the economy.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Can I address the
There are
COVID
two
issue
people
that
who
the
have
governor
not.
brought up?
We're going to
No.
get back to that. We are. There are two people
He says, no, you can't. Can I address the bill? No. That's funny.
who we have not heard from yet. So let's hear from Governor Burgum and then from Governor Hutchinson on the economy.
See, Hutchinson and Burgum, yeah, I don't know who those two people are. Never heard of them before in my entire life up until this moment. And they've been completely silent on the debate stage. They've made absolutely no impression on anybody. You know who has made an impression? Mike Pence, Vivek Ramaswamy, Chris Christie a little bit, not really, though. I think he spoke once or twice, got a couple of jabs in. But I feel like Vivek, DeSantis, and Pence are probably the winners of this debate because they got the most time in talking. But okay, let's keep listening here.
Economy, sir.
Well, great. Thank you, Martha. And of course, I'm from a town of 300 people. It's a big deal to make it on this stage with all these folks. But
He's trying to play to that I'm just like you, feeling that people have. I'm just a normal guy. I'm from a town of 300 people. It's a big deal for me to be on this stage with all these people. Yeah, I bet. What is Doug Burgum worth, I wonder, out of curiosity? Let's see. Is he one of those small-town yokels like he pretends? It's hard to tell what Burgum is worth, but Forbes says that they suspect that he's worth $1.1 billion. Is Doug Burgum a billionaire? So it sounds like he might be a billionaire. There's suspicion that he's a billionaire based on like what he owns and stuff. He was the president of Great Plains Software, and he was an angel investor. I don't know what that means. So anyways, yeah. This little yokel from a 300-person town here is worth $1.1 billion. Great. Okay, go on.
But when they were all wishing me well, and I think I took them a little too literally when they said, go to Milwaukee and break a leg. So,
Oh, yeah. So that's just a little joke there. Go to Milwaukee and break a leg. It took him too literally. Yeah. I think this day, like the day this debate happened, he was skiing or something. I don't know exactly what happened. He got in an accident and almost, didn't make it to the debate, and it was a big deal. So he's just doing a little shout out. I don't think he broke his leg. Obviously, he's standing up here, but yeah, he got in a pretty rough accident. And Ferga 911, yes, billion with a B. He's worth $1.1 billion. $1 billion. Angel investors are wealthy private investors focused on financing small business ventures in exchange for equity. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Interesting. So it's kind of like a hedge fund manager in a lot of ways, right? That sounds like how a hedge fund operates to some degree. Nope, don't have that lucky egg from Chansey. I did catch the Chansey, but lucky egg didn't work, so. Ron DeSantis. People said Ron DeSantis was a complete dud on MSNBC. Yeah, I agree that he was a dud because he was expected to be a star. So when you're setting the bar up here where you expect it to be, and he falls and fails miserably, yeah, he's a dud, absolutely. But he got some speaking time in up to this point. We'll see if that changes. We'll see if he gets real quiet and doesn't say a word. The winners of the debates, of these types of debates, are the people who talk the most. The more speaking time you get, the better, basically, because you're memorable for people in that case. Quick interjection. I won't take long. I just wanted to tell you guys, YouTube's algorithm operates off of a few factors. Watch time, whether or not you subscribe, and whether or not you like something. So if you really want to help my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys watch the video to the end. If you don't watch it to the end, just watch a little bit longer than you would have otherwise. I would appreciate that very much. All right, let's get back to the video.
but I do want to say on this, we're missing something. We can't just talk about the Biden economy because the economy, energy, and national security are all tied together. Of course, we're paying too much for our energy in our state, in our country right now. But part of the reason why is because of the Biden policies on energy. We've got a plan right now.
No. Of course, we're paying too much for energy. Okay, let me explain. I talked about this in another part. the U.S. uses about 19 or 20 billion barrels of oil per day. I'm sorry, 19 million barrels of oil per day, give or take. And they pull 16 million barrels out of the ground every day. So we have to make up the shortfall, the deficit of 3 million or 4 million barrels per day somewhere. So we buy it from other countries. Now, Biden is trying to enact green energy sources, like trying to set up so we're using wind turbines and hydroelectric dams and stuff like that, so we don't have to use 19 million barrels a day. We can simply use zero, as a matter of fact. If we went all green, it would cost $5 trillion, and it would pay itself off within a year. Certainly within 10 years. So if you really want to boost the economy and you really want to go, be energy independent, national security, all that other good stuff, get off of fossil fuels immediately. And hell, sell the fossil fuels that you pull out of the ground to somebody else. Suddenly, you're a lot richer, and you're not depending on any other countries for your energy sources. I don't understand why we have not done that yet. Well, it's pretty obvious why we haven't done that yet, right? I mean, I'm sure everybody can guess exactly why we haven't gotten off of fossil fuels yet, right? Because the fossil fuel companies are in this guy's pocket, among others, and don't want to. They don't want to get off of it yet. All right, I'll be right back. I'm just going to check Miki's blood sugar again. Check Miki's blood sugar again. Once again, I'm going to blow this up. You get to listen to Lou Dobbs be a nutter butter. So here you go. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, okay? Okay, so her blood sugar, I believe, last time I checked was, what was it, 117? I don't remember what it was. It's 131 now. So it is going up. But again, I gave her honey. Last time. So I've been giving her honey every single time. I have to give her a mouthful of honey to get it to go up by 10 points. That's really scary. That is really scary.
Right now, the $1.2 trillion of Green New Deal spending buried in the Inflation Creation Act.
Okay, there's no Green New Deal spending. Unfortunately, I would love it if that were the case. But there was some clean energy spending, if you will, placed in the Inflation Reduction Act. And by the way, inflation reduced after that act. It worked. He's just complaining because he's a Republican, and that's it. And a billionaire, of course.
Is something that is just subsidizing China. If we're going to stop buying oil from the Middle East and start buying batteries from China, we're just trading OPEC for Sinopec. And then belatedly.
Oh my God, China was invoked. God, these people hate China. I think tension should cool down with China. I don't like how worked up into a blood frenzy Republicans are over China right now. We should have a good working relationship with China. And China should understand our position that we will go to war with them if they attack Taiwan. But other than that, we should, do whatever we can to build good trade relations and be friendly with them and everything else. Taiwan needs to be its own separate state. It's not happening, China. That's my position. That's what I believe. But, Republicans they don't have a brain of their own. They have the brain of billionaires. They have the brains that have been inserted into them by the billionaires that fund them. In this case, I guess this guy is one of those billionaires that funded, Republican candidates. Honestly sad and embarrassing and ridiculous.
The Biden administration says, no, we're going to put sanctions on Russian oil. Well, we put sanctions on Russian oil. Well, then it's 20% off. Who's buying it? China. So if you buy a battery in this country, you buy a solar panel, it's being produced in a plant in China powered by coal, or it's being powered by oil and gas at 20% off. And every farmer in this country would like to buy diesel at 20% off.
He makes an interesting point. Okay, so basically what he's saying is Biden's Inflation Reduction Act had some parts in it that talk about electric vehicles. And that's true. It did have some stuff about EVs, I think, electric vehicles, right? one of the biggest and most expensive things and most difficult things to produce for electric vehicles is the battery. You need to produce a battery that's capable of holding a very large charge for a very long time, right? And that's a technological breakthrough that we just accomplished within the past, 20 years or something at best. So anyways, he's pointing out, interestingly and aptly, that a lot of that lithium is mined in China for those batteries, and a lot of the batteries are produced in China. That's true. And China is, since Russia is so sanctioned by the United States and the rest of the world, Russia is doing whatever it can to sell its oil to whoever will buy it. And that means China. They're selling it to China. Yes, that's actually correct. He's right about that. It's an interesting point that this guy is making, basically, that, China is benefiting. But China has been trying to move toward renewable resources, too, because they have aptly recognized the fact that it is, for national security, for monetary reasons, more beneficial to have all renewable energy on their grid. They're the world's factory, right? And they're causing massive amounts of pollution for their own cities. You got to wear a mask in their cities a lot of the time because there's so much pollution in China. It's nearly impossible to breathe. There's a higher cancer rate in a lot of these little towns in China and stuff. So China is starting to recognize the importance of going carbon neutral, ideally carbon free, and using wind turbines and solar farms and all that other stuff, hydroelectric dams and things. Renewable resources would be fantastic. That's what China's trying to do right now. So here's the thing. This is what's really interesting about this. This is what I find fascinating, okay? If you look at every major city around the world, every major economic center, a lot of them are around rivers or lakes or the ocean. They're near water, right? And the reason for that is because long ago, when these cities were being formed, when people were gathering, they wanted to gather around a water source. Oh my God, there's hammering now outside. So New York City is near a water source, California, all over, there's the Mississippi River is a water source. The Ohio River is a water source. They'll go around all these water sources. Anyway, cities are commonly economic powerhouses, as I'm sure you'll recognize. Most where people are gathered, they're together. There's going to be a lot of economic power there, right? Except for Mississippi, weirdly. There is a massive city in Mississippi around the Mississippi River, as expected. It's a water source, but it's broke. There are a ton of broke people. It's a broke state in a broke city. They have no money, no nothing. And here's the interesting thing about it, okay? This is what happens when you base your economy off of a single thing. And that's what Russia's doing right now. That's a point that I'm getting to at this immediate moment. Russia has built their economy off of one thing, and that's oil. I mean, sure, they have other things that they do. They have technological breakthroughs. They have a military, and they, make guns and all that other good stuff. But oil is their main export, or natural gas. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are their major export, right? With Mississippi, around the Mississippi River, there are a ton of people, but most of the people that were around, I think 52% or something of Mississippi residents before 1865 were slaves. 52%, okay? And the main export was cotton. Slavery destroyed economies when it ended. Honestly, it wasn't great for economies when it was going. You know why? Because you don't need to hire a laborer. You don't need to pay somebody to pick that cotton for you, to do that job or whatever. You just buy a slave, and they'll do it for free. Boom. So slavery created this massive wealth disparity that caused no end of problems in those areas. Slavery was horrific for the economy. It was so bad for the economy because you end up with two types of people. Oh, I didn't get a lucky egg on that one either. That's sad. Because you end up with two kinds of people. The rich, the ultra-rich, the plantation owners, and the poor, the slaves. I mean, there were three classes of people. There was the rich, and then there were the slaves, and then there were people trying to find a job somewhere in the middle who were almost unable to because, all the jobs are taken over by slaves. And, of course, Mississippi and all of those plantations that were there had one main export. That's it. The entire Mississippi economy was built off of one thing, cotton. I think it was cotton, right? What was Mississippi? I still remember how to spell it from school. Mississippi. Mississippi. Main export, 1800. No, 18. We'll do 1840s. Cotton. Yeah, I was right. I thought that's what it was. Mississippi's main export was cotton in the 1800s. And when you base your whole economy off of one thing like that, and you create massive wealth disparity, you have the ultra-rich and you have slaves, and then you have people in between that are trying to find some way to fit into the economy. It's a recipe for disaster. It's going to come crashing down. It is. It's a matter of when. Okay? Now, Russia has wanted climate change to come for a long time. They want the world to be warmer. You know why? Because there are parts of Siberia that they have access to that, if climate change came, would unlock those areas, would make it easier for Russia to access them, maybe drill for oil, that type of thing. Russia views it as a good thing if climate change came and wrecked, the earth, basically, because they would be better positioned and they don't give a shit about the earth. Well, let me rephrase. Putin doesn't give a shit about the earth. Why does he care about the earth? He cares about Russia. So, anyways, Russia's entire economy is built upon one thing, oil. And as you'll see later in this debate, even Republicans are worried about climate change. Even Republicans. They talk about it. That's one of the subjects. Nobody wants to live in the world that is coming if we don't do something about it immediately. Like right now. Even young Republicans do not want to live in that world. And Brett Baer and the other host point that out. I'm not sure who the other host is. So anyways, Russia's economy is going to come crumbling down sooner rather than later when oil is no longer desirable anyways. It's not really desirable now, and they're sanctioned to shit in the first place. So it's really only a matter of time before Russia's whole economy comes crashing down. Just like in Mississippi, Russia is going to end up as one of the poorest areas in the world. They're viewed as the world's third most powerful country. The United States, China, Russia, in that order, with the biggest militaries or whatever. Not for long. They got, at best, 40 years before that's not true. In our lifetimes, Russia will be one of the weakest countries because oil will be undesirable, and their entire economy, like Mississippi, will come crashing down. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Anyway, sorry to get off on a tangent there. I just wanted to, I wanted to kind of debunk some of the stuff that he's talking about here, because he's a billionaire who's a talking head for the fossil fuel industry, just like every other Republican on stage, as you'll see in a little while. I just wanted to break that apart for you. Just checking. Oil and vodka. Russia's oil economy will likely be a thing as long as plastics are a thing. Yeah, that's true. Plastics may not be a thing forever, though, or at least plastics made out of fossil fuels. We'll see. I mean, New York City is moving towards paper everything. Paper milk cartons, paper bags, paper everything. Plastic bags are outlawed unless you are a company that's smaller than a certain size. And paper is very, very recyclable. Plastic is not. So I don't think that plastic containers will be a thing for very long. Not forever. It will be dramatically reduced if plastic wrappers stay around in the first place. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Seeing how often I'm getting chanties now, this is crazy. I'm getting like a ton of chanties. Like at the beginning of this, I was getting almost 0. It was super weird. But somebody suggested I move to a different area of the grass, and here we are. Anyways, medical devices are where the plastics won't go away. Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. I don't think plastics will go away entirely, but they will be dramatically reduced. Single-use plastics won't be around forever. We're going to go to an all-recyclable system, I'm sure of it. Eventually. It's only a matter of time. How many years? 40, 50? I don't know. I think we'll live to see the day.
Just like they're buying it in China.
Governor Hutchinson, quickly.
Like, he's making a short-term prediction about what's happening in Russia and China and what's going to blah, 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 and he's freaking out about China. He's trying to fearmonger. It's all nonsense. Like, none of it is relevant at all. We need to go all renewable energy, and we would pull the rug right out from under Russia, and honestly, China too, if we went all renewable immediately. And we'd create a ton of jobs. Government hiring people to build new wind turbines and to, hell, let's go all the way if we're going to go all the way. Pay people to paint the roads white. That would be really valuable. That would reflect some of the sunlight up. We have black roads. They're absorbing heat and raising the temperature overall in the area. Paint the roads white. Pay people to do that. You know, there's so much we could do to improve this situation, and for some reason we're not. Wonder why, right? Could never figure this out.
Thank you, Grant. Delighted to be here tonight. And let me just tell you that I'm a pro-life governor from a...
Ooh, that's a risky one. Talking about the abortion issue, that is the thing that lost Republicans the Senate and the Senate, and they got a really, really bad election round on the House, and they lost the presidency. I can't attribute that to the abortion issue necessarily, but people came out to vote because they don't want to lose their abortion rights. They don't like that. So I think it's a mistake for Republicans to talk about abortions at all.
Conservative state that have a conservative record in which I lowered taxes in Arkansas as governor.
And how'd that go? Did Arkansas shoot to the very top of the economic powerhouse list of states? Are they number one in education and economy and production and everything now? Did that money, is it the richest state now because you cut taxes? I mean, trickle-down economics, right? I've got to assume that all those taxes you cut trickle down to everybody else, right? That's what you said would happen.
I created a $2 billion surplus that I passed over to my successor, and I made sure that we shrunk the size of government.
I see, this is really one of my biggest problems with the Republican position, with Republican politicians. They are single-minded. They have these ideas. When it comes to policy, they don't even talk about policy anymore. Now it's just culture war BS that they talk about constantly. But when they do talk about policy, it's, I want less government. That's dumb as dog shit. I want lower taxes. Also dumb as dog shit. Climate change is fake. It's a hoax. What is wrong with these people? For real?
We have 14% fewer state employees in Arkansas after I left government than when I took over as governor 8 years ago.
He's measuring his success by how many people don't work for government anymore. That's insane.
I tell that because that's what we need in Washington, D.C. We need somebody who can actually...
No, it's not. We don't need that in Washington, D.C. We need somebody that will cut government employees. Do you remember what happened when Elon Musk started cutting employees randomly and unplugging things at X now? I get formerly known as Twitter. Stuff started to break. Employees were unhappy. People on the platform were unhappy. It was a miserable experience. And now it's a failed system. X is going away pretty much. I think I'm pretty comfortable saying Elon Musk destroyed Twitter permanently, which is really sad because it was a pretty incredible platform where I did a lot of the work, or I got a lot of the resources that I show you guys from Twitter. I can get it from Threads and other places, so it's not a terribly big deal. But it's sad, you know? Twitter was a cultural touchstone, and it was destroyed by Elon Musk forever. Good job. Anyway, that's what this guy is, like, calling for. Exactly what Elon Musk did to Twitter. We saw how that turns out. We don't want that.
Actually constrain the growth of the federal government, that can actually reduce the size, and I've pledged to reduce by 10% our federal non-defense workforce. That's a specific pledge to make that attacks the administrative state.
Now, who is this guy? Ada Hutchinson? I've never heard of this guy before this debate. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's who it is. Ada Hutchinson net worth. Let's see what he's worth. According to... Hang on, I'm looking for Des Moines Register. For some reason, it's really hard to find what he's worth. You can't trust just any website on net worth. A lot of these places just say ridiculous stuff. Like Greg Locke, I don't think that he's worth like 114 million or whatever it says on Google. You have to be really careful where you get this information from about net worth. So I'm super skeptical. It looks like he's worth about 5 million. So he's not a billionaire, at least. Yeah, it looks like he's not a billionaire. That's something. But he's a millionaire, and that kind of pisses me off in its own right, so.
And let me applaud some of the business partners that are here that have had success in business. But let me tell you, I've been a federal prosecutor. I've served our country in terms of being head of the DEA, in Homeland Security, in times of crisis.
Let me tell you something about, he said he's been a prosecutor, federal prosecutor. Let me tell you something about law school. My wife is in law school right now, and she's got some insight into this. People who, there are 3 areas of law that people usually get into when they enter law school, and you pick one when you start, and you pick the electives that match up with it all the way through. You want to be in public interest, you're going to take human rights classes. I think there's a women's rights and an abortion rights class that you can take. I forget now. Whatever. Just you're going to take all the classes that relate to public interest. Public interest is one of those areas. It's basically working for a nonprofit. And then there's criminal law. And then there's big law. Big law is like you want to become a corporate lawyer for Disney or something eventually, right? Criminal law is you want to be a judge one day, or you want to be a defense attorney, or you want to whatever. People who want to be defense attorneys are usually pretty decent people. People who want to be prosecutors, who enter law school with the intent to become a prosecutor, or who come out of law school and become prosecutors, are usually scumbags. They're terrible. They are looking for an opportunity to punch somebody in the face. They're looking for an opportunity to hurt somebody. The fact that he was a prosecutor tells me exactly what kind of person this dude is. And it's the type of dude I want nothing to do with, honestly.
And while I think that that's experience that is important for the future of our country, to be the President of the United States that can lead with positive solutions and be held accountable.
Thank you. We have a lot of topics to get to, and I promise we're going to get to everyone if we play within the rules. Okay, next topic. More than 1,000 people are still unaccounted for in Maui after the deadliest...
Right, so if you're watching 5 years in the future, there was a Maui fire in Hawaii. There was a fire that killed a ton of people. Lots of people lost. People jumped into the ocean to escape the fires, and it's bad. and it's a result of climate change.
U.S. wildfire in more than a century. Hawaii's governor and White House officials said that climate change amplified the cost of human error.
And
amplified the cost of human error? No, climate change was to blame for this situation. When are people going to accept that?
tropical storm hit California for the first time in 84 years. The ocean hit 101 degrees off the coast of Florida. And in the last month, the heat wave in the Southwest broke records nearly 50 years old.
So Alexander Diaz from Young America's Foundation has a question for you all.
Polls consistently show that young people's #1 issue is climate change. How will you, as both President of the United States and leader of the Republican Party, calm their fears that the Republican Party doesn't care about climate change?
That's a fascinating question. It sounds like Fox News is setting these people, like setting up these presidential candidates. They're setting them up for failure because no matter what they say, it's going to be unpopular. Although it's, they're correct. This kid here is correct in assessing that Gen Z really cares about climate change. That includes Republican Gen Zers. And the Republican Party does not care about climate change. He's correct in that assessment that he just made. Now let's see what these people who all appear to be over 60, except for one, Vivek Ramaswamy, let's see what they say about it, shall we?
So we want to start on this with a show of hands. Do you believe in human behavior?
It's not something you believe in, okay? God is something you believe in. Climate change is something you accept or reject because it's a direct truth claim. Evolution is something that you accept or reject. God has no, there's no you have to have faith to believe in God, right? And for that reason, it's something that you believe in or don't believe in. I just want to set it straight.
So we want to start on this with a show of hands. Do you believe in human behavior is causing climate change? Raise your hand if you do.
Well, look, we're not school children.
Okay, the answer is no, none of them do. And if you notice, not one of them raised their hands. Ron DeSantis cut this off at the pass by just speaking out of turn. He didn't give anybody an opportunity to raise their hand or whatever, but no one was going to raise their hand. Now, Ron DeSantis is a governor who is going to be most affected, or whose state is going to be most affected by climate change, almost certainly. If anybody should accept climate change, it's Ron DeSantis, right? Flood insurance and homeowners insurance companies refuse to work with Florida or Floridians anymore. And the one that will still work with Floridians have quadrupled their prices. It's in the stars. We see it happening. Florida's if we don't do something about it. And their governor doesn't want to do something about it. So, yeah. And the president wants to do something about it right now, this president. The next one might not. But this president isn't doing enough. So, anyways, DeSantis needed a quick out so he didn't have to raise or lower his hand. So he starts talking. Listen to this.
Do you believe in human behavior is causing climate change? Raise your hand if you do.
Well, look, we're not school children. Let's have the debate. I'm happy to take it.
There's no debate. There's no debate. I don't need a debate. The debate is done. Your ass isn't the one that needs to be debating it anyways. It should be scientists debating it, and they have. And they've come to a consensus. Something like 98% consensus or 99% or something. And the other 1% are scientists that work for ExxonMobil, pretty much. So the debate's done, and your ass wouldn't be the one having it anyways, even if we did have it. But okay.
To start, Alexander.
So do you want to raise your hand or not?
I don't think that's the way to do. So let me just say to Alexander this. First of all, one of the reasons our country's decline is because of the way the corporate media treats Republicans versus Democrats. Biden was on the beach while those people were suffering. He was asked.
Okay, we're not talking about Maui right now. We're talking about the fact that people are dying as a result of climate change. And your state, out of any, is going to be screwed soon. It's already suffering ill effects of climate change right now, today. Maui is one thing in a pattern of problems. We're talking about climate change, Ron. This is how he avoids the questions. You see it?
Asked about it, he said no comment. Are you kidding me? As somebody that's handled disasters in Florida, you got to be activated. You've got to be there. You've got to be present. You've got to be helping people.
Oh, and now he's going to get outraged on people's behalf. Are you kidding me? I'm so upset by this. Instead of addressing the real question, which is about climate change. Do you care about it or not? And how are you going to assuage the fears of people, of young Republicans, who want you to care about it?
Can we start
We're doing this.
and answer the question?
And here's the deal.
Let's just answer the question.
So is that a yes or is that a yes? Is that a hand raise?
You do not.
Was that a hand raise? That's good. Do you accept climate change or not? It's a question.
I think it was a hand raise for him, and it's my hands are in my pockets.
No,
because
no,
the
I
climate
didn't
change
raise-
agenda
I
is
didn't
a
raise a
hoax. Let us be honest.
Okay, so Vivek Ramaswamy says, my hands are in my pockets. Climate change is a hoax. Now listen.
As Republicans, I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax, and we have to declare independence for it.
Ooh, boy, that's interesting. This dude just said the climate agenda or whatever is a hoax and got booed to shit. That's a good sign, guys. That's a really good sign. The people that are at this debate, I'm going to guess, are probably moderate Republicans who don't like Donald Trump, don't want to vote for Donald Trump, and are looking for any other option, who think Trump is too far to the right, almost certainly. And that means they're probably not a fan of DeSantis either, because he's even further right than Trump. So the further right these people move, the less support that they have, basically. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy is sitting at 7% support. That's pretty low. That means 93% of the Republican Party supports somebody other than him. And he's making himself even less popular by saying climate change is a hoax. Good job. Good job, Vivek. I'm sorry, Vivek. His name's Vivek. I keep mispronouncing. I apologize. Okay, somebody says he got booed because he said everyone else is bought and paid for. I don't think so. I don't think so, because there was complete silence after. They were waiting to hear what he said. And somebody kind of said, whoa, wait, I disagree, as he was saying climate change is a hoax, and then they started booing. So I'm not convinced. I'm not sure. I was shocked to hear boos. Yeah, people saying they're shocked to hear boos. I agree. I was kind of shocked also. But climate change is here. There's proof of it. It's happening right now. And we need to deal with it. We have no choice. So what are you going to do? Gen Z isn't going to vote for somebody if they don't accept climate change.
Do not.
And Gen Z also, you know what else Gen Z isn't going to vote for? They're not going to vote for somebody who is pro-life rather than pro-choice. Gen Z really, really liked their abortion rights, and they came out in droves to shut down the red wave that everybody expected to happen. Anyway, let's keep listening here. I stepped back a few seconds to hear that again. Like I said, somebody said that the boos came because he claimed people were bought and paid for. I don't think so. Well, listen again.
I think it was a hand raise for him, and it's my hands are in my pockets.
No,
because
no,
the
I
climate
didn't
change
raise-
agenda
I didn't
is a
raise a
hoax. Let us be honest as Republicans. I'm the only person on the stage who isn't bought and paid for, so I can say this. The climate change agenda is a hoax. The climate change agenda is a hoax, and we have to declare independence for it. And the reality is, the anti-carbon agenda is the wet blanket on our economy.
No, it's not actually. The fossil fuel industry is a wet blanket on our economy. It would be a massive boost to the economy, as I've talked about already, if we went fully carbon-free, all renewable energy. It would be a massive boost. Government could be the employer of last resort, as they say. Hire people to paint the roads white. Hire people to build wind turbines, hydroelectric dams, all this other stuff, whatever. And hell, you know what? Sell those barrels of oil. that we dig out of the ground. 16 million barrels of oil per day we dig out of the ground. We use 19. Once we're using 0 barrels of oil a day, sell those other 16. Or only dig 5 out of the ground per day. 5 million instead of 16. And sell those. National security would be in a better place. Our economy would be in a better place. We'd be energy independent. We'd be just in a fantastic spot. Even if climate change were a hoax, which it's not, but even if it were, go carbon free. Why aren't we doing this right now? This is ridiculous.
And so the reality is more people are dying of bad climate change policies than they are of actual climate change.
Governor Haley, are you bought
The
and
death
paid
rate
for?
is down by 98%
Hold on.
in the last century.
Listen.
Interesting. So that he got kind of a clap at the end there, huh? Listen again. See what he said exactly.
On our economy. And so the reality is more people are dying of bad climate change policies
No, that's completely false.
than they are of actual climate change.
Governor Haley, are you
And he seems to have gotten a clap for that. Well, a mild clap, right? Not like going absolutely nuts or anything clap. Just a mild clap. More people dying from bad climate change policy than actual climate change. That's completely false. But just a literally 15 seconds before, he said climate change is a hoax. And he seemed to have accepted climate change suddenly. Had a revelation in the same sentence. Or the very next sentence, he had a revelation. Oh, climate change is real. You know why? Because he heard those boos, I bet.
The death rate is down by 98%
Hold on.
in the last century.
Listen.
I've had it. No.
Wait, hold on.
I've had enough. I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
He does sound a little like ChatGPT, right?
And
Oh boy, you can hear Vivek. I'm sorry, I keep mispronouncing. You can hear Vivek fans booing and everyone else cheering in the background. That's funny.
last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, "What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here?" was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
Wow, that's fascinating. I mean, is it just me, or is that like super racist? Is it weird to anybody else that he just compared one dark-skinned individual to another dark-skinned individual? That's kind of weird that he picked Barack Obama out of everybody he could have picked. Okay. We're seeing the consequences of being wrong on climate change. The price will go up the longer we wait. Yep, absolutely, Mitch53. I appreciate that. You're 100% correct on that point.
Come over and give me a hug. Give me a hug just like you did to Obama.
The same type of amateur.
And you'll help elect me just like you did to Obama, too. Give me that
the
bear
same
hug, brother.
type of amateur.
Dude, okay, if there's one thing I've learned from Vivek, he's really bad at responding to criticisms. He's, like, terrible at it. Earlier, Mike Pence took a shot at him and said, "Oh, let me speak slower for you, Vivek, so that you understand." And Vivek was like, "Well, I do have a reading problem, so." Okay. Do I need to point out everything that was wrong with what you just said in that sentence? Anyway, it's just bizarre. Like Vivek is really, really bad at responding to people. I mean, he's got his Chat GPT talking points down pat, in my opinion, but he's terrible when it comes to like taking hits, you know?
Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
Come over and give me a hug.
Come on, give me a hug, he said. Why was that his response?
Give me a hug just like you did to Obama.
The same type of amateur.
And you'll help elect me just like you did to Obama, too. Give me that
the
bear
same
hug, brother.
type of amateur.
Hold on.
Dude, what the hell is he talking? Give me a bear hug, bro, just like you did Obama? What? I don't remember that, and I bet most of the crowd doesn't either. This is not helping Vivek.
Hold on. Governor Haley, would you like to respond? Are you
So,
bought and
Brett,
paid
what
for?
I would like to say is the fact that I think this is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Okay, Margaret Thatcher was like, I think wasn't she the prime minister of the UK around the same time Reagan was the president in America? I believe that's what it was. And Margaret Thatcher was absolutely terrible, like in every way. Oh, my wife said she's down there at the vet, and she said somebody's dog came in who had eaten a bunch of pills, and I'm assuming they had to pump the dog's stomach, the poor thing. Anyways, yeah, Margaret Thatcher was a nutcase, a complete nutcase. Oh my God, she was terrible. I don't care. It's kind of weird that like these people like to pretend to be woke. Somebody says, is she wearing a bath rug? Yeah, that's kind of a weird outfit she's wearing there, right? I think I'd get hot in that thing. It looks super fuzzy. Anyway. These people love to pretend to be woke. And then talk about woke nonstop. Woke, 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 woke. I mean, they haven't said the word woke a single time tonight, as far as I can tell, yet. But that's practically all these people talk about when they're out there on their own or on Fox News or whatever. Woke, 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 woke. And she's saying that women are better than men. And then earlier, Tim Scott, I'm sorry. And then earlier, Tim Scott said, African Americans are benefiting, and so are, people of color, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's nonstop woke stuff from these people and then complaining about wokeism. I mean, I'm the last person to complain about wokeism. I don't really care. I think that it's a fabricated word that Republicans use to bash Democrats, but, they're supposed to care about this stuff.
First of all, we do care about clean air, clean water. We want to see that taken care of, but there's a right way to do it. And the right way to do it is
immediately. Now, that's the right way to do it. Do it as quickly as humanly possible, because we've pretty much run out of chances at this point. We need to do it now. Deal with climate change.
First of all, yes, is climate change real? Yes, it is. But if you want to go and really change the environment, then we need to start telling China and India.
China. I don't care about China, okay? I care about me. We're not talking about other countries. This is classic whataboutism. I heard the same shit from somebody else earlier. China. I don't give a shit about China, all right? I care about what the United States is doing.
That they have to lower their emissions.
Great. Let's yell at China and India about their emissions while fixing ours, okay? Go fully carbon free. Full renewable energy.
That's where our problem is. And these green subsidies that Biden has put in, all he's done is help China, because he doesn't understand all these electric vehicles.
What did I say? China. Oh my God, dude. All these electric vehicles. She's just repeating the same thing that other dude said. Who was it? Doug something? Is that who talked about the electric vehicles?
We need to start telling China and India that they have to lower their emissions. That's where our problem is. And these green...
I just want to point something out here. She's getting claps for a pro-climate change position. Got boos earlier for anti-climate change. Claps for pro-climate change position, trying to fix climate change. That's interesting at a Republican debate.
Subsidies that Biden has put in, all he's done is help China, because he doesn't understand all these electric vehicles that he's done, what that does. Half of the batteries for electric vehicles are made in China.
Okay, this is literally already said by Doug whatever, Buzzwhack. What the hell is his name? Buzzmack. What's the guy? Who is it? Doug Burgum. I knew it started with a B. I just couldn't remember. Doug Burgum. Didn't he already say this? Or was it Ada Hutchinson? I don't know. I don't know who these people are. And, yeah, batteries are made. Well, lithium is mined a lot by, I think, Chinese companies. Some in Africa, some in China. There are a lot of lithium mines that China controls, to my knowledge. And lithium is a necessary part of batteries, of EV batteries. Okay, great. I don't care. I don't care about what's happening in China. I care about what's happening here. Let's lower our carbon footprint to 0 and start pulling carbon out of the air, as a matter of fact. Not carbon neutral. I don't want carbon neutral. I want fully renewable.
And so that's not helping the environment. You're putting money in China's pocket, and Biden did that. So first of all,
oh my God, dude, this point was already made. You're making a point that people have already said, and it was stupid then, and it's stupid now.
and all these electric vehicles that he's done, what that does, half of the batteries for electric vehicles are made in China. And so that's not helping the environment. You're putting money in China's pocket, and Biden did that. So first of all, I think we need to acknowledge the truth, which is these subsidies are not working. We also need to take on the international world and say, okay,
these subsidies are working to encourage people to use electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are not the end of the line, though, for climate change solutions. We need to go fully renewable energy. $5 trillion, we could pay it back in a year, and that would make the United States fully renewable. Wind turbines, hydroelectric dams, solar farms, 100% renewable in the United States. Zero fossil fuels, $5 trillion. That's all we need to do. I'm not talking about electric vehicles right now, okay? I don't care about those. Great, yes, use EVs. That's good. I like that. We need to go fully renewable.
all he's done is help China because he doesn't understand all these electric vehicles that he's done, what that does.
Biden did electric vehicles, apparently. That sounds weirdly sexual.
Of the batteries for electric vehicles are made in China. And so that's not helping the environment. You're putting money in China's pocket, and Biden did that. So first of all, I think we need to acknowledge the truth, which is these subsidies are not working. We also need to take on the international world and say, okay, India and China, you've got to stop polluting, and that's when we'll start to deal with
Senator Scott, are you bought and paid for?
Absurd. Absolutely absurd on every level. Like, she didn't address the problem or the solutions in any way. Like, this is just made up.
Absolutely.
Are you bought and paid for? They're asking her a direct question. Are you bought and paid for? Of course, everyone's going to say no to that, right?
Are you bought and paid for?
I'm sorry?
Are you bought and paid
Absolutely not. I mean, here's what the American people deserve is a debate about the issues that affect their lives. Going back and forth, being childish is not helpful to the American people to decide on the next leader of our country. Number one.
I think this is old Timmy here, old Tim Scott.
Wait a second. Number two, as a kid who grew up in a single-parent household mired in poverty,
Oh my God, dude. Now he's shouting out to old school racists and talking about how, hinting at the idea that all black people have personally made the choice because, you know, it's like a genetic thing with black people in these racists' brains, that black people are more genetically likely to have, you know, single-parent households, and they're poor by their own choice because they don't want to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and all that other garbage. That's basically what he's doing right now. He's doing a meme, a racist meme. No joke.
I wondered, was the American dream real for kids who are devastated by poverty?
The American dream is not real. The American dream is a measurable effect called upward mobility, and it is far more attainable in other countries, like far more attainable.
Devastated by the challenges of life, I came to the conclusion that America can do for anyone what she's done for me.
Wait, is America a chick? For some reason, I thought America was a dude. I don't know why. That's weird. Apparently, Timmy thinks America's a chick.
Focus on restoring hope, creating opportunities, and protecting America. If we want the environment to be better, and we all do, the best thing to do is to bring our jobs home from China.
Okay, there's his solution. You guys wondering how we fix climate change? Bring our jobs home from China. That's how we fix it. That would solve all the problems. Bring our jobs home from China. Perfect. Wow, see, this guy solved climate change. It was that quick and easy. Like your mom. Somebody said I was letting him down on the mom puns, or the your mom joke, so I had to slip that one in there. Sorry, guys. Just bring our jobs home from China. Genius.
She's done for me. If we focus on restoring hope, creating opportunities, and protecting America. If we want the environment to be better, and we all do, the best thing to do is to bring our jobs home from China. If we create 10 million new jobs in my Made in America plan, we will have a better economy and a better environment. Let me tell you.
No. He did this exact thing earlier. It's, God, I don't remember. There's a propaganda technique. I don't remember the name of it now. It's based off of the non sequitur logical fallacy, but there is a specific propaganda technique with a name that uses the non sequitur fallacy, and that's what he's doing. You want to fix the environment? Bring our jobs back from China. What? That doesn't make any sense. You know why I can't fly? Because there are clowns at Coney Island. That's why. I'm sorry? What? I am so lost. I have no idea what's going on right now. His solution is to bring back jobs from China. Okay, great.
Tell you why I say that, Brett.
Oh, he's going to tell us why he says that. Fantastic. Okay. We're going to get an explanation for this.
America,
Do it quickly.
America has cut. I'm a Southern boy. I talk slow. So America.
Another one.
That was quick. America has cut our carbon footprint in half in the last 25 years. The places where they are continuing to increase, Africa, 950 million people. India, over 1 billion. China, over 1 billion. Why would we put ourselves at a disadvantage?
It's not a disadvantage. It's a massive advantage. By the way, my Chansey here has a lucky egg. I finally got what I was looking for. How many Chanseys was that, dude? Oh, my God. It took me forever to get that damn Chansey. Seriously, how many Chanseys did I burn through just now? Shit. Miki's blood sugar is falling. It's because I didn't give her honey that last time. I should have given her honey. I knew I should have given her honey, and I didn't. I thought she's going to the vet. They're going to measure it, and they'll know what to do there. Honey is the only thing that was keeping Miki's blood sugar up. It was the only thing kind of maintaining it for her, and now it's down to 88. That's the danger zone. Now we're hitting danger zone territory. If it hits 50 or 60, we need to go to the animal hospital immediately. She's at the vet right now, so they can give her... Wow, it fell... How much did it fall? It was an hour, roughly. In an hour, it fell from 130 to 88. So it's falling at a rate of, with no honey, what is that? 52 points, roughly? 50 points per hour? Like, I don't know what's going on with her pancreas or why it keeps doing this, why it keeps, she hits glucose lows, dramatic lows on certain days. Inexplicably. And then she's fine most of, the rest of the time she's fine. I don't know why that's happening, but I think I've been managing it just fine. All right, guys, I'm actually going to get out of here right now, and I'm going to work on the cat, see what I can do to help her, okay?